signs and numbers. This is another type of questions that are drawn for the NPSE. With signs and numbers, you will be given some signs, symbols, shapes, with numbers on various parts of the signs, symbols, and shapes. And you'll be required to find out the pattern that these numbers follow in a sample that will be given. That is to say, some shapes or some symbols will be given to your pupils, and then numbers will be placed on certain points of this particular shape. And then the sample given, you can look at the sample and try to determine the pattern that these numbers follow, because definitely the numbers will follow a particular pattern. Now in the questions, a number will be omitted, which you are required to find using the sample given. You are going to use the same pattern and the sample to determine that missing number. Let's see. Example: study the sample below carefully and use it to find the number represented by question mark in the questions below. That is to say, this is the sample we have been given. We are going to study this and know what pattern is used here, and that particular pattern is what we're going to apply for these questions. Now, the logic is, there is no definite pattern that will be given. You have to determine. You will not be told what pattern has been used here, but you have to check and then be able to determine what's the pattern that they used. One clear thing is, the same pattern that is used in this first set will be the same pattern used here, and will also be the same pattern used here. So meaning the pattern will be common. The pattern will be common. Remember, this is what? Numbers and series. Number series. Now let's see. We have number 4, number 1, number 5, number 3, and number 4 again. We want to see what is the relationship among these numbers. That same relationship must exist among these other sets of numbers, and the same relationship must exist among these other sets as well. Now, by thinking carefully, I will notice if I take 4 and I add 1, it gives me 5. That's the 5 there, which means 4 plus 1, it gives 5. And then there is a relationship as well between 4, 1, and 3. Subtraction. 4 minus 1 equals 3. So I have got a relationship for 4, 1, and 5, and 4, 1, and 3. It remains 4, 1, and 4. Let's think of multiplication. 4 times 1 gives me 4. So 4 times 1 gives 4, which means I have got a relationship for all these 5 digits. Next, I am going to check if that relationship also works here in the next set. Now let me see. 7, 3, 10, 4, and 21. Here I said 4 plus 1 gives me 5. Let me see. 7 plus 3 gives me 10. That one works. I go again. Yeah, I said 4 plus 1 gives me 4 plus 1 gives me 5, and then 4 minus 1 gives me 3. Now 7 plus 3 gives me 10. 7 minus 3 gives me 4. Two relationships have worked. Next, I said here it was 4 times 1 gives me 4. Sorry. 7 times 3 gives me 21, which means that relationship works. Let me check again here. See, 9 plus 2 gives 11, and 9 minus 2 gives 7. 9 times 2 gives 18, which means that is the relationship I should use throughout. At times, you might be tempted to use another method. You check. If it doesn't work, you leave it and check another way. What if I had said 4 plus 1, 5, 4 minus 1, 3, 4 divided by 1, 4. It works. But let's see here. 7 plus 3, 10. 7 minus 3, 4. Or can 7 divided by 3 gives 21? No. So that one doesn't work. Meaning I forget about it and go back. If I had tried division earlier, sorry, I noticed it doesn't work here, I should leave it and check another thing. Now when I check with multiplication, it works, which means that is what I should be using. Now come here again to answer the questions. Question 1. Remember, it should be this plus this, that gives this. This minus this, that gives this. And then this times this will give us this one here. We go. 8 plus 6 must give us something. Now 8 minus 6 gives us 2, correct? 8 times 6 gives us 48. So 8 plus 6 gives us 14, which means our answer that should take the place of this question mark is 14. We'll come here to our options. A is 8, B is 10, C is 12, D is 14, E is 40. Carefully, my answer is D. So I will go to my answer sheet and then shade D for this particular question. Again, I come to the next question. Number 2. Same method. I must add this and this, that gives me this. This minus this gives me this, and this times this should give me something here. If you have noticed, it works in all of these three. When you come here, just check. 8 times 4 should give you what? 8 times 4 gives you 32. So 8 plus 4 is 12. 8 minus 4 is 4. And 8 times 4 is 32. So we look for 32 here. A is 18, no. B is 32, correct. C is 24, no, because it's 8 times 4 will not give you 24. C is 18, 8 times 4 will not give you 18. And E is 12, 8 times 4 does not give 12. So therefore B, which is 32, 8 times 4 is 32. B becomes our answer. Number 3. Same pattern. Now look at where the question mark is. Remember, this is the first number we always work with. That is, this plus 2 must give you 4. So if you want to find a number here, you can say, in as much as this question mark plus 2 will give you 4, it's the same thing. That means 4 minus 2 will give us something here. So 4 minus 2 gives us 2. Now let me check if this 2 will work with the other relationships. 2 minus 2 gives me 0, which means my 2 is correct. I check again here. 2 times 2 gives me 4. 2 plus 2, 4. 2 minus 2, 0. 2 times 2, 4. So which means my question mark here should be replaced by the number 2. Come to my options. A is 8. No, that's not 2. B is 6. If I put here 6 plus 2, it is 8. So it's not correct. C is 4. If I put here 4 plus 2, that's 6. It's not correct. D is 2. I put here 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 minus 2, 0. 2 times 2 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4. Sorry. Now, E is 1. Not correct. So I'll take D as my correct answer. Remember, you will be given a sample. From this sample, a common pattern that applies is what you must use. Common pattern means the same pattern you find here will be the same pattern here, will also be the same pattern here. That same pattern must be used to work throughout the questions given. Let's look at another example. This is study the sample below carefully and use it to find the number represented by question mark in the questions below. Now we have a sign, a symbol, that's obviously letter K, and we have numbers placed on different positions of that letter. Now here I said there must be a relationship that exists among these numbers. That same relationship that exists here must be the same here and must be the same here, a common relationship. So we look. We can see 5, 2, 3. 5, 20, 10, 2, 3. Let me imagine, what can this relationship be? Of course, when I look at the number 5, the number 2, and the number 3, I will notice that if I subtract 2 from 5, it definitely gives me 3. It's a check I am doing. That's 5 minus 2 is 3. But now 5 times 2, okay, is 10. 5 times 2 cannot give 20. Another thing, 10 times 2 gives me 20. So I have got a relationship. 5 times 2 is 5 minus 2 is 3. 10 times 2 is 20. That works. Let me check if this very relationship will work on the other sample. Sorry. Because I subtracted 5 minus 2, I got 3. I should do the same here. 25 minus 10 gives me 15. So for this side, it works the same with this. Again, 10 times 2 gives 20. So here again, 4 times 10 gives 40. So that relationship works for these two. If it doesn't work here, meaning I should change it. Now, 9 minus 5 gives 4. 9 minus 5 gives 4. 3 times 5 is 15. 5 minus 2 is 3. 10 times 2 is 20. 25 minus 10 is 15. 4 times 10 is 40. 9 minus 5 is 4. And then 3 times 5 is 15. Correct relationship. So that is what I should use in all of this. I come to question 1. Remember, I must subtract, like 5 minus 2 gives 3. 8 minus 8 definitely gives 0. 3 times 8 gives question mark. What is 3 times 8? 3 multiplied by 8 gives me 24. So coming to the options, I am keen to look for 24. A is 64. Not correct, because 3 times 8 is not 64. B is 24. 3 times 8 is 24. So B becomes my answer. Now C, 16. Not correct, because 3 times 8 is not 16. Now D is 11. 3 times 8 is not 11. E is 12. 3 times 8 is not 12. So therefore, A, C, D, and E, they are all wrong. B is correct, because 3 times 8 is 24. Number 2, same relationship. Take 10 minus something here should give me 1. What can I subtract from 10 to get 1? Or I can just subtract 10 minus 1 gives me what should be here, because I am dealing with subtraction. So 10 minus 1 gives me 9. So I begin to suspect that this one should be 9. But I should check if I multiply that 9 by 4, if it gives me 36, then that becomes my answer. So 4 times something is equals to 36, which also means if I divide 36 by 4, I should get that very answer. And 36 divided by 4 is 9. Now, 9 being my answer, I look for 9 on the options. A is 9. No need to go further. A there is 9. I will now shape A. Let me show you why B is not correct. Because 10 minus 10 will not give you 1. It will give 0. And then 4 times 10 will not give you 36. It gives 40. Why is C not correct? 10 minus 11 will not give you 1. It gives you minus 1. Or what we can say, we cannot. And 4 times 11 will not give 36. It rather gives 44. Similarly, all of this, 10 minus 12 will not give 1. 10 minus 14 will not give you 1. We go to number 3. So therefore here, that's why A is correct, because 10 minus 9 is 1. 4 times 9 is 36. Number 3. We have 18, 7, 11. 18 minus 7 is 11. Let's see. 8 minus 7 is 1. 1 minus 0 is 1. So 18 minus 7 is 11. But remember, we must multiply 7 and something here that will give us 35. But inasmuch as there's nothing here, let us see. If we divide 35 by 7, we must get that answer here. That represents the question mark. And 35 divided by 7 is 5. Which means 5 should be our answer here. Let's see. A is 30. No, 35 divided by 7 is not 30. B is 28. 35 divided by 28 is not 30. C, 17. Not correct. 35 divided by 7 is 5. But D here says 7. So which means D is not correct. But 35 divided by 7 is 5, which therefore is found at option E. So E is our correct answer. I take again. 35 by 7 divided by 7 will not give you 7. That's why D is wrong. But 35 divided by 7 will give you 5. That's why E is correct, because 5 times 7 gives you 35.